भुरग्यांक जेन्ना एडजस्टमेंट भुरगे करता तेन्ना केन्ना केन्ना तांकां तकलेची दुयेंसां जावंक शकता जशी डिप्रेशन, एन्झायटी, नर्वसनेस आनी हाजेर रामबाण वखद कोण तर दाखयता घुंवळी वखदां. मागीर एक फॅड आनी फॅशन चलता, म्युजीक प्ले करपाक कोणाक आवडटा जाल्यार तो एका रॉक बँडाक पळयता, तांची हिस्ट्री काडटा इंटरनेटा वयल्यान, ताका कळटा की अमको 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 ड्रग्स करतालो. दे देन idealize him and start doing the same thing.
He becomes a role model.
He becomes some sort of a negative role model and incorporates.
Yeah.
This could be possibly the sociological स्तर. आप करेक्ट कीजिए हमें कि ये sociological जो एंगल होता है वो idealism का जो होता है, idolism जो होता है, that is also that works on it.
Dr. Rajesh has touched a very important aspect of it. I'll just take it further. When we are talking about the use of narcotic drugs, particularly in the youth, we all know that it is a formative period for a child. Now, any formative phase of a human personality is full of turbulence. It is full of anxieties, it is full of problems, it is full of risk. And today, our young children, they are exposed to so much of problems in their life. At the problems related to their career, problems related to their survival, problems related to their whole existence as a whole. Now, we had very established social traditions, very established social institutions, which used to play a very positive role in this whole process of personality development.
Absolutely.
For example, if a child has a problem, he interacts with the family. The immediate center for any kind of interaction for a child is his family. He will have to share with his parents.
Absolutely.
And parents interact with the child, they know what is the problem with the child, try to solve it out and all. And our old institution of joint family was a very important, in fact, a facilitator in taking care of lot of emotional needs of a growing child.
Correct.
But unfortunately today, with industrialization, urbanization, growth of consumerism and urban life, the whole institution of joint family is now becoming nuclear. We have more nuclear families.
Absolutely.
Now, a nuclear family has its own problem in an urban area.
Absolutely.
The couple themselves are so under stress, they are trying to cope with the whole issue of survival, because I mean their problems are socio-economic, their problems of adjustment. So, in that setup, the growth of a child has its own limitations. Most of the time, many well-meaning parents also are not able to devote time to their children, and a child does not get a proper ventilation point.
Absolutely.
So, what finally happens, that a child will definitely, we all require a ventilator through which we can vent out our anger, pleasure, emotions, everything. We have to share this. Since he is not able to share his problems, his anxieties, his emotional issues with his immediate group,
near and
dear one, who are supposed to bring him up, supposed to provide him emotional base, support.
Absolutely.
Then he has to look for other things.
Absolutely.
And then he develops a tendency to interact with a similar kind of a peer group in his school, in college. And those peer groups which have developed their own methodology to take care of how, if he has a problem, as Dr. Rajesh rightly said, oh, you are feeling anxiety, take this tablet, you will feel all right.
Happy.
So, the child actually knowingly or unknowingly, he has to take care of his problem, he falls in that particular trap. And as he rightly said, once you fall into that trap, then it's very difficult to come back. It's very difficult to come back. So, I think when we are talking about prevention also, when we are talking about awareness, it is also an issue that those important stakeholders who play a very important role in the overall personality development of a child, they also get sensitized.
Correct.
Teachers in school, parents, they play a very important role.
Absolutely.
They play a very important role.
आता drugs म्हणटकीच आमी substance use म्हणटात. In classified substances are chemically called, scientifically called as psychoactive substances. psycho म्हणजे mind, active means whatever has an action on the mind, and substances is any chemical, anything that could affect the mind.
Absolutely.
So we have got prescription medication, जशे न्हिदेची वखदां असतात ती सगळी, खोकलेची वखदां असतात, खाकेची वखदां असतात, ताजे सुद्धा बळी पडटात लोक. फेन्सिडिल, codeine are contents of cough syrups. People drink bottles of them and become addicted. न्हिदेची वखदां जशी डायझापाम, नायट्राझापाम, ऑक्साझापाम ही आसा, दोतोर बरयतात एका आठवड्या खातीर, पूण तेच प्रिस्क्रिप्शन परते परते घेवन वर्सां घडये लोक घेतात. हे प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ड्रग एब्यूज जालो. There is non-prescription group which comes under the NDPSA Act, which is narcotics. In general, the large chunk is narcotics. We have cannabinoids, which is marijuana and all the other things.
Right.
And we have got hallucinogens, which is LSD, PSP, mushrooms, all other things. And now there is a new drug called as date rape drugs, which is a mixture of the prescription with this type of medication. Because ही जी प्रथा आसा, प्रकार आसा, तातले most difficult is narcotics, followed by cocaine, which is an
Another,
speed high. So there are various types. पण हे चार गजाली आसा पळय न्ही, ताजेर आमी चड वादशा करता, because these cause the maximum damage to society in an age which is very, very productive.
Absolutely. There is one slight allegation, like sometimes people, especially in the medical community, like say as a doctor, sometimes he wants to give some sedatives or whatever, means like painkillers, like especially like morphine, which you use in the case of cancer patients or this thing. They also are affected. So what you would like to say means how they can, especially for the medical community, I'm saying, as far as we are giving you proper judicious use, okay, but what are the legal implications or how they have to go ahead?
I think this whole prescription and non-prescription drugs is being regulated and monitored by Directorate of Food and Drugs Administration, and they have periodical check. They go and check whether they are, and those who are using this, the only thing which they could do that they could sell most of these prescription drugs to other users also without any prescription. So there is some kind of a regulation which is going on there. Now, related to what has been said, I would just like to supplement that when we are talking about drugs, I think it is very important for us to classify that which kind of drugs are important when we are talking about drugs. Drugs anyone takes. If you have some ailment, you take any kind of a drug. They are not illegal. We are talking about those drugs which is said psychotropic substances and narcotics, which are classified as illegal drugs. Now there are three aspects of this. A very, I mean, normally people think that only possession of drugs is an offense. That if you are in possession of a drug, this is only an offense. This is only legally not permissible. But let me tell you that even consumption of a drugs is also an offense. Those who consume drugs, there is a strictest provision in the NDPS Act regarding that. And to further tell you that even if some premises, suppose, which has been used, which has been facilitated by the owner for storage of the narcotics, drugs and such substances, even he is liable for prosecution. And the punishment in this particular act is very stringent. It is very stringent. Goa is a important international tourist destination. It has flow of tourists from all over the world. And actually, if what I feel that this whole problem of drugs also started here with the inflow of the tourism only. It is related to that. Initially when the actual hippie culture was there, which gradually started, when the local culture started prevailing over the other culture, then that culture started vanishing. So it is not an origin state. It is a destination point. People come here and they, because of a different, in fact, ambience and other things, they use such kind of things. And we have been taking, in fact, Goa is open from all sides. Goa is open through sea. Goa is open through road. It is open through air. It is open through rail. So
we have accessibility from all the directions.
Yes, and if there are 10-20 tourists, some people come with pious motives of roaming around, enjoying the beauty of this place. Some people also come with some kind of ulterior motives. So we have our own system of surveillance on such kind of people, and we are able to track them. Last year we had arrested almost 55 persons. They include Indian as well as foreign nationals of different countries. And secondly, I would like to say that there is a need for people to be vigilant, people to be alert, and in the coastal belt, at least, everybody should be very particular about this kind of a menace. They must know, you see, it is not drug which is important per se. This particular problem affects the overall growth of the country. It affects the growth of a child. India is one of the youngest country in the world, and as per World Drug Report, 15 to 64 is the age group in which maximum people use drugs. There has been maximum deaths also in this, and in Asia also this is very. So it is not that drug as such affects one individual. If we see the larger implications in a broader parameter, it affects the growth of the whole society. In fact, Kofi Annan, the former Secretary General, he said that it facilitates so many other kinds of problem. It is an impediment to the economic development of I mean, suppose if a youth of a particular country gets addicted to such kind of thing, then see how you will progress. You will not have enough manpower for who will go in other different walks of life.
How we can bring him back? The child who is lost in the jungle of drugs, or a person for that matter. त्या आम्ही कशें हाडू शकता थोडक्यान?
पयले सुवातेर आयडेंटिफाय करा. सिम्पटम्स तुमकां अनैतीक जर तर दिसले, भुरग्याच्या चालचलनान कितें फरक दिसलो, ताचे दोळे, चेहरे, जेवणा खाणाचेर कितें पडलें, स्वभावान बदल दिसलो, पांघरुणां घालनाकात. एक्सेप्ट करा की अशे प्रॉब्लेम आसूंक शकता.
बरोबर.
ताजे कडेन एक फ्रेंडली येट फर्म असो बिहेवियर दवरा. आमचे कडेन हाडा. गव्हर्मेंटान फॅसिलिटी दिल्ली आसा. नॉर्थ गोवा डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल, ऑस्पिशियो हॉस्पिटल इन साउथ गोवा, इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ सायकॅट्री एंड ह्युमन बिहेवियर. हांगा फ्री ट्रिटमेंट जाता, फ्री कावन्सिलिंग जाता, सगळो खर्च गव्हर्मेंट उबारता. आनी हें करतकीच तांकां रिहॅबिलिटेट करून समाजान ओपन आर्म्सान तांकां परते एक्सेप्ट करपाक जाय की हे भटकलेले भुरगे, हे क्रिमिनल्स न्ही.
एब्सोल्युटली.
हे भटकलेले भुरगे, हे दुयेंत भुरगे.
करेक्ट.
हांकां जाय तशी पालन पोशण मेळूंक ना आनी हे बळी पडल्या. पूण हांकां विक्टीम कशें पळोवचे, आउटकास्ट कशें पळोवचे न्ही.
एब्सोल्युटली.
आउटकास्ट न्ही ते आमचेच भितरले, आमचेच रक्ताचे मनीस. ते आउटकास्ट न्ही. भटकल्या तांकां जागो दाखोवचो, तांकां वाट दाखोवची. आनी ते वाट दाखोवपाक पेरंट्सूच गरज ना, टिचरूय आसा, प्रोफेसर्स आसा, टिचर्स आसा, सोसायटी आसा. ताणें कोणाकूय दाखोवचें, आमचे कडेन ट्रिटमेंट करचो, रिहॅबिलिटेशन करचें. लोक परते आयिल्ले आसा
आनी येवं शकता.
हय. एक लक्षांत दवरा, आज तूं ड्रग्स घेता जाल्यार फाल्यां विभिन्न तरेची दुयेंसांय ताका जावंक शकता. HIV, ट्युबरक्युलोसीस, हेय गजाली हातून एसोसिएट जाता. कित्याक ड्रग्स घेतकीच बिहेवियर मनशाचो हें जाता. म्हणटकीच फक्त ड्रग्सान मनीस मरूंक शकता. ड्रग्स आनी HIV जावंक शकता बिकॉज ऑफ इंट्राविनस ड्रग यूज, आनी ताजे खातीर TB, BB अशे
जावं शकता,
हानिकारक दुयेंसां जावंक शकता.
बरोबर. म्हाका दिसता डॉक्टर, एक अतिशय गंभीर विषय, बोथ ऑफ यू, डॉक्टर OP मिश्रा, डॉक्टर राजेश, हांणी जे एक म्हत्वाच्या गंभीर विशयाकडे सगळ्यांचे प्रामाणिकपणे लक्ष वेधून घेवपाचो प्रयत्न केला. ही सगळ्यांची, तुमची, आमची सगळ्यांची जबाबदारी जावन आसा. समाजातले घटक म्हणून आमच्या शिक्षकां मदीं आशिल्ले पेरंट्सां मदीं आशिल्ले शिक्षक, फ्रेंड्स, सगळ्यांनी जशें कोणें म्हणटा की एवरी सेंट इज अ सिनर ऑफ एस्टरडे, किंवा अशें जावं शकता. पण ह्या दृश्टिकोनांतल्यान ह्या लोकां कडेन आमी पळोवपाक जाय. एक सुदृढ असो समाज घडयतना, बलशाली असो देश घडयतना आमचें योगदान देशा खातीर, त्याच बरोबर जगा खातीर तितकेच म्हत्वाचें. जेन्ना अशा ह्या व्यापक नदरेंतल्यान आमी पळयतले तेन्ना खऱ्या अर्थान आयच्या दिसाचें आमचें योगदान आसा तें आमी करूंक पावतले. म्हाका दिसता तुमी मुजरत वेळ काडून ह्या कार्यावळीक वेळ दिल्या बद्दल तुमकां काळजान देव बरें करूं. नमस्कार.
देव बरें करूं.